Not too long ago, I was talking to my dad about the times that he used to road trip around the country. Back then, the road network wasn't as developed as it is today. There was no G-Quad, the national highway network was very limited, and even state highways didn't exist like they do today. And that gave me an idea. We need to do a road trip old school. We need to go discover a road that isn't on the national highway network, on the state highway network. It is off the maps, and yet it is a great driving road. And keeping with old school, we're taking a proper sedan with us today. We've got the Hyundai Verna, and we're discovering the road between Bhor and Wai. The town of Bhor isn't hard to find. If you're heading from Mumbai, if you're heading from Pune, you've got to head down the Mumbai-Bangalore highway and you've got to enter the Satara district, which is the next district after the Pune district. And right after you enter the Satara district, you've got to hang a right off this main highway. Once you hang that right, it's about 15 kilometers to the town of Bhor. It's a little crowded, this road. There's a few villagers on the road, so I don't recommend you do anything funny with your car. Don't try to speed or anything over here. And once you hit the town of Bhor, you've got to take another left. Now the landmark here is a big statue of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. It's bang in the middle of the road. It's impossible to miss. As soon as you see the statue, you'll hit a crossroad, and at that crossroad, you've got to take a left. Now, heading straight at that crossroad will probably take you to the Konkan coast. I've heard this road is good, but this is second-hand information, so don't take my word for it. Today, we're taking the left and we're heading towards Wai. Once you take this left, you've got to head down that road for another 11 kilometers. Now, this is again a village road, but it is much less crowded than the one we were just on. It is a bit more open. The road is slightly wider, and the surface of the road isn't the best. It's slightly bumpy. It's not potholed, but it has gotten a little bumpy over the years. I think the monsoons have just chipped away the top layer of the road, and it's a little bumpy in parts. Not too much of a problem though. You head down this road for approximately 11 kilometers and there'll be a very distinct left turn that you will hit. And that left is what you need to take, because that left takes you up the Mandhardevi road. Now the Mandhardevi road is essentially a hill climb, and at the top of this hill climb is the Mandhardevi temple, which is why this road is named so. And this is the road that you're here to experience. This is the road that you're here to drive. It's really something. So the road, it starts with a fairly gentle gradient. It isn't too steep, it isn't too challenging. The road surface again is just a little broken, not too uncomfortable, so you don't need to worry about ground clearance or anything of the sort. It's just a little bit bumpy, and that's something that you need to deal with for a few kilometers. Then you start climbing a little higher. The vegetation, it starts getting a lot more thick. It actually starts looking really, really wild. You see these plants that you don't see anywhere. They've got these giant leaves. It reminded me of almost like Jurassic Park, you know, these prehistoric looking plants that you don't see anywhere else. But you start climbing higher and higher, the scenery starts getting more and more beautiful, and the road gets better. So once you hit a certain point, the road dramatically improves. It's almost like it's been resurfaced in the recent past. It's butter smooth, absolutely clean, no blemishes, nothing whatsoever, and this is really, really fun to drive. Now the road, it's not a very wide road. Two cars can pass comfortably, but nothing more. And in parts, it does narrow down, so you need to be careful. Don't come around a corner too hot, because you might just find that the road suddenly narrows and you have an oncoming truck or an oncoming bus, and then you're going to be in a bit of a jam. But actually, there's not too much traffic on this road, so that is not something you need to be worried about. And in the monsoons, the hills in these parts are absolutely beautiful. Just look over here. There's every possible shade of green on those hills over there. It's something else. It's just green as far as the eye can see. It's almost therapeutic, you know. The greens are so vibrant. There are yellows, you'll find occasional flashes of red, a little bit of flowers here, a few buds over there. It's just something else, you know. And you can put the window down, breathe in this fresh mountain air. There's not too much dust in the air because the rain has settled all of the dust from the atmosphere. It's re-energizing, it's reinvigorating. But we're here to drive. And what's the drive like? Well, Like I said, it's a narrow road, so you can get enthusiastic with it when the road surface is good, but always be mindful that there are other people on the road and it can get a little dangerous, especially if the roads are slippery like they are now. You always want to keep a buffer. You never want to be going at 10 tenths because you might have to brake. These modern cars, they all have ABS, and which is great because if you need to make an emergency stop, you have that by your side helping you out. But that aside, you want to keep a buffer just in case you have to brake in an emergency. That said, enjoy the drive. You can really have a good amount of fun on these roads, get into a nice rhythm, get into a nice flow. The corners here are extremely flowing, so most of the time you're flowing along the side of the mountain. There are very few switchbacks. I think there's 2 switchbacks on the way up to the Mandhardevi temple and 2 switchbacks on the way down. So 2 rather wide hairpin bends, but apart from that, it's just flowing turns all the way through. And when you reach the top at the Mandhardevi temple, the views are spectacular. On a clear day, we actually got some clear skies today. You could see all the way up to the Dome reservoir. That is the same reservoir that you can see from Panchgani, from Mahabaleshwar, and this is a completely different angle. It looks so beautiful, and it was in this valley between the mountains, and it's just a sight to behold. It's really, really beautiful. And something else we need to talk about is the car. Now, I'm driving the Hyundai Verna, and it's so nice to be back in a proper 3-box car after so long. The last few stories that we've done with SUVs, the Tucson, the Creta, but now we're back to driving the Verna, and it's a beautiful car, especially on a drive like this where you're doing an old school drive, going to discover the older roads and routes around the country. It's nice to be reminded that sedans, they still have a certain draw, a certain allure to them that SUVs just can't match. No matter what you try, no matter how feature laden and how cool and how much ground clearance an SUV has, there's something cool about a sedan. There's something subtle about it. It makes you feel good when you're driving. It makes you feel special, and not all SUVs can do that. So this particular Verna has the 1.5 petrol engine, the naturally aspirated petrol engine. It makes 113 bhp, 144 Nm of torque, and it's mated to a CVT. I must say that this CVT gearbox is actually quite nice. You don't feel too much of that rubber band effects when you get onto the gas. You can actually drive it pretty enthusiastically out here in the hills. Now, out on the highway, it's very stable, very comfortable at speed. Getting to Bhor from Pune was really, really easy. It's stable, it's planted. Hyundai has really been working hard on its ride and handling of its cars, and that stability on the highway, that confidence, is a huge improvement over the last generation of the Verna, and that's something that I really liked on the highway. Once you head off into the smaller roads, what stood out the most was the ride quality. Those roads right after Bhor, like I said, they're uneven, they're a little broken, the surface isn't perfect, and the Verna actually does a great job of flattening them out. And once you start climbing the hill, that's when you can really enjoy the Verna as a sedan, because you don't have the same ride height as an SUV, but you also don't have the high center of gravity, and that means you can really enjoy it in the corners. You can get a little enthusiastic with it, have a little bit of fun, and the Verna will treat you well. If I'm being perfectly honest with you, this is not a road you want to be caning your car on though. This is a road that you want to be enjoying for the views, for the sights, for everything else that it offers in addition to the driving experience. The driving doesn't have to be fast. It can be relaxed, and it can just be about taking in the sights. And that's what this road is all about. It takes you back a few decades. It takes you back to when motoring was unhurried, when you didn't have to hit the national highway and make it to your destination as quickly as possible. You can kick back, relax, enjoy the drive. We're up here at one of the highest points on the Mandhardevi ghat, and behind those clouds over there is the Mandhardevi temple. You can't see the temple right now, but what you can probably see is the road that's snaking down the mountain. That road heads to Wai. It's about 15 kilometers from that point to the town of Wai, and we're going to go driving that road before heading back to our headquarters in Pune. It's been a great day out on the road. The weather's been great, the views are great, and the Verna, it's been lovely. Thanks for joining us on this episode of our Greatest Driving Road series. See you next time.